Then they said, all the school buses, they must have telematic systems. They must have cameras facing the systems. That is Regulation 14. Madam Speakers, all the schools in Kenya, including the ones in Tana River County, the private schools that are carrying children, the high schools that have, they must now have telematic systems, Madam Speaker. Then we ask these people, when do you want us to have this thing done? 1st of July, 2026, Madam Speaker. 1st of July. What is the date today? 11th of June. So we have 12 days, all the schools in Kenya, all the, you know, from which county to, and every county at least has some schools that have buses, telematic systems, cameras. Madam Speaker, for us, we see this is a rent-seeking opportunity. If we leave these regulations to pass, and I hope my colleagues who are listening to me online, because I know senators are paying attention to this, all of these schools will have to pay bribes, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. This is clearly a way of collecting money from schools. And you know, Madam Speaker, already we have regulations under the Education Ministry that are saying school buses, you may travel from this time to this time. School buses do this. Now, they are putting in these new regulations a requirement for licenses, again, for all school buses. Madam Speaker, this Senate must disagree. We must not allow this. We must not. We must fight for our people. NTSA cannot make regulations that are going to make it impossible for schools to take children to school. Look at the chaos that is going to be in school from 1st of January, July 2026. And I told these people, and we talked, the Senate Delegated Legislation Committee colleagues spoke to these people, withdraw these things, withdraw these regulations, give it time, let people understand, let schools understand. Nothing doing. Madam Speaker, we cannot allow this. We cannot. And that's why we have come today to say, Senate, reject these things. Madam Speaker, apart from that, these regulations, you know when they did the public participation? A long time ago, Madam Speaker. 2014 is when they did 2024 is when they did public participation. And that public participation, Madam Speaker, did not comply with the standards that we give. They did not give notice the way it is required. And Senate cannot allow this to happen. We cannot allow this. And even stakeholders, you know, Madam Speaker, we had to call the private operators of schools to come, the stakeholders. They said they didn't know about this. So, Madam Speaker, that is the one reason, and I know my colleagues will talk about the regulations affecting the schools. What about the regulations affecting motor vehicle inspection? I'll also give only one reason why we reject it. Do you know, right now, it's only when you have a traffic accident, that's when your private vehicle is taken now for inspection. When you have an accident, unfortunately, that's when your private vehicle will be taken for inspection. But, Madam Speaker, can you imagine, now they are saying, all of us, you know, even if you are not operating a government vehicle, a commercial vehicle, you are not operating a bus, if you are operating your own little car, your own small vehicle, you are now required every year to go for inspection. Inspection. And Madam Speaker, I asked, and we asked the Senate, we asked, Jameni, how do you want us to do this? We don't have enough inspection centers in this country. And then you want this to be effective 1st of July, Madam Speaker. Just a few days from today. It is not right. The Senate must not agree to pass. So, I am urging, and I have so much to say, and I'm feeling very bad that Ntsa has taken the law-making power that we gave them to just create regulations that are going to be so bad to all Kenyans. Madam Speaker, can you imagine, even without going outside Nairobi, now Nairobi, all of you who have vehicles are supposed to go and queue at centers which are not sufficient right now, pay some money to Ntsa, pay some money to people they will appoint, and you have your vehicle inspected. How long will that take? And if you don't have that sticker from Ntsa, they are going to arrest you, arrest your daughter, arrest your wife, whatever people, your mother, your father, whoever has a car, when they are coming from work, and demand that they have that sticker. Madam Speaker, we cannot allow this. We must not allow this. Senate must put down its feet, protect the people of Kenya by annulling these regulations. And Ntsa must be told, you are not the Senate of this republic. You don't have power to make laws. You are not the National Assembly. You are not a county assembly. You cannot make regulations that are so oppressive. And when we tell you, withdraw, give it transition, you don't want. No. So, I'm urging colleagues that this is one thing that we have to all unite and pass. We defeat these regulations. They must bring reasonable regulations. I have a lot to say, but I want to stop there because of time. Madam Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Who is seconding?
I am asking the Honorable Manzo, who is a member of our committee, to also second, because he sat there in those meetings and he knows what we did there. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Manzo, please.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I want to say that these regulations, first and foremost, did not comply with the law. What Ntsa, which has delegated power from Parliament, is asking us to give it further delegated power so that it will have a power to appoint inspectors who are not government agents. And therefore, we also asked them if they could then withdraw and republish the regulations so that they could comply and give them a timeline, Madam Speaker. They were not willing, well, eventually they said they are willing to withdraw, but we have not seen any sign. They are just hoping 1st of July will come, a fluctuation of time will happen, and these regulations will become law. So what we are saying, because they have not followed the law, they have not done proper public participation. All they did was to go into a capture meeting, talk to primary school teachers in Mombasa. Most of them don't have school buses. Most of them don't have cars. And probably did not, they were on their agenda. They didn't understand what exactly Ntsa was up to. And therefore, public participation also failed. And before us, Madam Speaker, we are saying these 3 regulations. There were no regulations before the Senate, and therefore must be annulled. Madam Speaker, I second.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of 1, the Traffic School Transport Rules 2026, Legal Notice Number 11 of 2026, 2, the Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2026, Legal Notice Number 13 of 2026, and 3, the National Transport and Safety Authority, into bracket, operation of commercial vehicles, close brackets, regulation 2026, legal notice number 14 of 2026, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 10th June 2026, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, the Senate resolves to annul the Traffic School Transport Rules 2026, Legal Notice Number 11 of 2026, the Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2026, Legal Notice Number 13 of 2026, and the National Transport and Safety Authority Operation of Commercial Vehicles Regulations 2026, Legal Notice Number 14 of 2026. Honorable Senators, this motion is now open to other senators to make their contributions, and I want to call upon Senator Ole Kina.
Madam Speaker, thank you. Madam Speaker, if there's a time that I've been very proud of this Senate, and particularly the Delegated Legislation Committee, is now. Because we are dealing with urgent matters. You know, in this country, Madam Speaker, we have a business of cut and paste. We copy and paste. You know, we go on benchmarking visits, we travel all around the world, we see what other Department of Motor Vehicles are doing in America, where I live also. There is a Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, and there are licensed inspection centers, which has been licensed by the Department of Motor Vehicles to be able to put annual stickers. But, Madam Speaker, that is a culture which is entrenched in the society in America. When you buy a car, you know that on an annual basis, you'll have to take that car for inspections. In fact, when a traffic officer stops you in America, they'll ask you for two items. One, your driver's license and your registration document, which you are required to have both in your car at all times. So, Madam Speaker, if we now decide that we want to leapfrog, but we are leapfrogging and leaving the community behind and forcing them to be able to leapfrog, whether they understand or not, are we now then going to say we are a developed nation, Madam Speaker? These three legal notices, I see them as recipe for chaos. Recipe for chaos in our schools. And I was just listening to my brother, Mungatana, whom I really appreciate for taking the time to explain to Kenyans